So we're switching out the weights on this car, and the lighter ones to slightly heavier ones in the front. Because we're trying to get this to be more balanced in the front. The only problem with this is the weights are not going to move that much. A lot of people don't want to enter open class because they feel that they're intimidated by it. Because this is like supposedly the advanced, the pros-based open class. But for me, since I haven't raced all that much, I'm not afraid of anything. And that might be a little bit of foolishness, but I'm ready for it. I just want to see if I can do it. Never back away from the challenge. If somebody tells me you can't do it, that's where you have to prove me wrong. It's a good lesson in life. You want to tighten all this stuff up too. You have to be a little careful because this part here is straight. About to start soon. One thing I'm afraid of is this bottom plate's just going to fall right off. I have some faith that it won't. We'll see. Yeah, I feel it. It's just not tight anymore. It should be tighter. It's on there. This whole thing in the bottom is going to have to be replaced at some point. Okay, on to the races.
Get set, go! One. Two. Three. I hear tears popping, oh no! That was an easy way to get to you. Last chance to go to the finals. Winner goes on. On your mark. Get set, go. Come on, stay down. All of you. Clean race. Clean race. One. Clean lap. Two. Come back in two. Nope, you jump.
Hello everybody out there in YouTube land, I'm Geek Girl Claire. Welcome to another exciting mini four-wheel drive video. So, it's been an exciting day at Hobbytown on June 12, 2021. That was Saturday, yesterday. And I entered NEO-Vicky in the open class races again, and I improved NEO-Vicky by adding some weights in the front to make it a little heavier in the front. I also shifted the weights here on the sides from, they were like about mid-distance, and I brought them closer to the wheels. So therefore the weight is a little heavier towards the front. Also, I have these two little mushroom heads on here so that when they scrape along the sides of the course, the track, they'll stay inside. And there are other little various niceties that I added too. Oh, I found out that my body was basically coming off of the hinges here, so the screw wasn't coming on tight. So I reversed the position of the screw. Instead of going from top to bottom, I went bottom to up, and I put a little ball on top of there so that it would secure the screw in place. I think that was a very, very good modification. So, what happened? Well, the car stayed on the track much better than it did last month. And last month's course was wicked, but it wasn't as crazy wicked as this month's course. This month's course was actually much harder to navigate than last month's course. So if you tried to build your car or modify your car based on the previous month, you'll find at Hobbytown they change their course every month, so you have to be like prepared for new things. So you can't just build and modify your car based on the previous month's tracks. You have to be prepared for what's happening in the current month. So luckily I had my slim damper set with me so that I can change the front weights. I went from really heavy to really light, and then I found out that it was still flying off the track, so I put heavier ones on there. So this is like the medium weight. This is like a little more than twice the size of the tiny slim dampers I had, but not as heavy as the heavy dampers I had. And I also changed these rollers in the front, added the mushroom head as I said, and the wheels. So the wheels are by Mad Tang. Really awesome wheels. When they land nicely, and they're good for cornering too. So these maroon low friction wheels here on the front are really good for that. So yeah, it was really good. Now what Race Master Eric told me was that with my car as it is, I have very little chance to beat the people who had suspension cars. So suspension cars are ones that have like shock absorption springs, so that when they land, the cars land, there's like, they land flat, they don't bounce at all. My car was bouncing every time it went off of a hill and landed. So I lost some time there. But if you look at the videos, you'll see that I was actually pretty much in there for most of the time until the very last lap, in which my car, for whatever unknown reason, would fly off the track. And it didn't do this in the preliminary testing. So it was like really weird that during race time things just were different than when you're just like practicing the course on your own. So yeah, so anything can happen in these races. So yeah, you just have to be prepared for it. So what could I have done differently on this? Well, next time I might go for some springs on here, one of those like sliding dampers. I might go for an the AT bumper in the rear. I might go for that. So we'll see what next month brings. It may be that this car, as it stands, might be good enough to race next month's course, however weird it might be. So every car that you produce is never going to be perfect for every track out there. Every car has to be kind of tailored to a specific track so that it could fare well on it. So you have to figure out the right combination of things on your car to get everything balanced. Now, it might be that your motor is too fast. I have a sprint dash motor in here, and I didn't bother to change it out during the race. So while others were like busily going upstairs and fixing their cars and modifying them so that they would stay on the track and be faster than everybody else's, I just used this same car over and over and over again, hoping that the batteries would somehow lower in charge as I raced more so that this thing would stay on the track like it did in the practice runs. So yeah, unfortunately it flew off the track every time I raced, and yeah, so unfortunately I did not get to the finals, but I'm getting a little closer to what I want to achieve with this particular car. And this car is not the be-all end-all. I spent a lot of money on this car so far to try to tune it, and with the knowledge that I've gained with the tuning process, maybe I'll build another car that will be a little better suited for those types of courses that have a lot of hills, a lot of weird turns and things like that. Or I can simply continue to modify this and keep entering the open class races until one day the car will stay on the track for all 5 laps, and maybe I'll win. I don't know. This car is plenty fast. It fares very well against all of the other racers. I noticed that even though I don't get off the line quickly in some cases, my car more than catches up over time. I also noticed that when it does slow down, for whatever reason, it's usually because the brake over here rubs off on some of the hills. So I have to figure out a way of keeping this on. So I had a smaller brake on here initially when I first started racing in yesterday's races, and I was told, oh, you need a bigger brake. So my brake was all basically scraping off already, so I removed it, but there was still like some stuff, some gook left over on it. So I did the best I could to try to put a new brake on here, and it's lumpy. So I think that has like something to do with my losses. So the car was basically staying on the track in the practice runs with the smaller brake. So with a larger brake, this brake was starting to peel off in the front. I don't know, it's probably because of the lumpiness. So I have to figure out a way to basically remove this, scrape off all the gook, and just put on a new brake, and hopefully it'll stay on the next track. Because for a suspensionless system, for basically a system that has no suspension in it at all, I think it fared pretty well. So we'll see. Maybe I'll continue to build on top of this car and modify it and see if it can win against all those awesome suspension cars out there. So yeah. So if you like this video, everybody, please subscribe to my channel, like my video, and you'll see more videos just like this one. Remember, I'm not a pro racer yet, but I am a very enthusiastic mini 4-wheel drive person, and I love sharing my knowledge with all of you. So yeah, until next time, everybody, see ya, bye.